Hello, and thank you for joining. Welcome to the Future States, the podcast where technology, law, leadership, society, and governance meet. I'm Emmanuel, and today we are discussing a question that matters to millions of small businesses. Can AI protect small businesses from the next wave of cyber threats? Cyber threats is often seen as something for large organizations with big budgets that have a lot of specialist teams, enterprise tools. But in reality, small and medium-sized businesses are often among the most vulnerable. They depend on emails, websites, invoices, online banking, and customer data, and mobile phones, or data platform they purchase from vendors. But many do not have the resources to defend themselves properly. And at the same time, cyber threats are changing. Phishing emails are becoming more convincing. Text message scam, known as smishing, are increasing. Business email compromise is becoming more sophisticated. And AI is now being used by both attackers and defenders. My guest today is Idris, founder of Triscorp, a Manchester-based cybersecurity company using AI to help protect UK small and medium-sized businesses from phishing and smishing attack. Idris has more than 6 years of experience in cybersecurity, including work as a threat intelligence analyst through Triscorp. He and his team are focused on making enterprise-grade protection more affordable and accessible for small businesses that are often targeted but least equipped to respond. Idris, welcome to Future States.
Thank you so much for having me. It's truly an honor to be here today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Idris, before we get into the wider issue, tell us a bit about your background. How did you get into cybersecurity? And what led you to focus on small businesses?
From onset, I did a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science at uni, which led me to interning for a CBC company called CBC EMEA as an associate infrastructure engineer. So I interned for them for up to 6 months. And after the 6 months, I went back to complete my degree. And after my degree, they called me back to come and work for them, which I started off continuing the same role as an associate infrastructure engineer. And I did that for a year, which I got promoted into being an infrastructure engineer, where I got to learn about systems, servers, how they work, how we can do migrations, more of the data room side of things. And that was where I was very enthusiastic about cybersecurity at the data layer, where we are protecting organizations from migrating their data from cloud infrastructure to on-prem, from on-prem to cloud, which I got more interested into cybersecurity, which made me started doing certifications, studying more. And after 3 years of being an infrastructure engineer, I just knew that cybersecurity was the next stage for me, which led me to come to the UK to study my master's in cybersecurity. While studying my master's in cybersecurity, I started doing remote part-time jobs, being a security operations analyst. I did the L1, L2, where we investigated logs, triage alerts, and also if it's more than what I could handle, I'll pass it on to the next line of support that can look more further into analyzing threats, vulnerability management. And after doing that, I progressed into being a threat intelligence analyst, where we also do more of the same thing, but we do it in a more complex way.
If you have watched more than one episode of this podcast, I want to appeal to you or encourage you to subscribe. If you subscribe, it will help these podcasts have a better reach, and we can get better guests like Idris and others that we are inviting to this platform. Idris, what did you see as a threat as an intelligence analyst that make you think SMEs needed better protection?
So what I saw as a threat intelligence analyst that made me think SMEs need this protection is the myth that SMEs first that they think of themselves is they are too small to be a target. And the opposite is true. The attackers, they automate. They are not unpicking victims. They are spraying millions of messages on small businesses. They fall through because no one is watching the door. There's no dedicated security team. That was why I sat down with my co-founder and we had a very deep conversation. It wasn't just a one-time thing. It was over a couple of months where we finally decided that, you know what, let us try and build a solution for small businesses to be able to help them stay clear from phishing and smishing attacks and also other social engineering threats. And that was where we founded Idris, an AI-powered cybersecurity platform dedicated for small businesses to help them stay clear from phishing and smishing threats and also attacks, while also training them at the same time, encouraging them to stay more cyber aware, encouraging them to also think before they click.
What I find interesting is that many cybersecurity conversations focus on banks, governments, and large enterprise, but the small business owner, the local accounting firm, the startup like yourself, they are also well exposed. What was the particular moment when you realized that small businesses are well underserved and that you want to start Triscope? What triggered that?
Cybersecurity breaches survey, 40 of small businesses reported a breach or attack in the last year, very higher than micro businesses, which is 42%. And roughly 612,000 UK businesses were hit in total, which means phishing was the most common attack by far. And 38% of all businesses experienced it, in which all those 38 businesses too, a lot of them or majority of them were small businesses. And among those that were breached, 69% said phishing was the most disruptive. And that was where we knew that this was the market that we're going for, the phishing market looking to rise. And with the use of AI that the attackers are using to launch all these attacks in a more fashioned way, in a more faster way, and in a more broader way to launch these attacks. And that was where we sat down, we worked on something over a few months and it finally came out and we named our company Driscope Limited. It's a cybersecurity solutions company, and we currently have two products that we are currently pushing, which is the Guard and the Notify AI.
Many small businesses assume criminals are only interested in large organizations. But as you said, it is clear that attackers look for the easiest routes for the biggest organization. So I know you've touched on it briefly before now, but I would like you to expatiate more on it. Why are small and medium-sized businesses such attractive targets for cyber criminals?
Small businesses are not ignored by attackers. They are targeted precisely, and because they have real money and real data, but rarely have enterprise-grade defenses like the larger enterprises, you name it. Rolls-Royce, Sophos, Google, Microsoft, they are all they have enterprise-grade defenses, while small businesses don't. And what the myth that they're always thinking is they are too small to be targeted, as I said. So the opposite is very, very true, because the attackers, they automate and they are not unpicking victims. And because they sit at the middle, they are worth enough value. They are enough value to be worth attacking, where not enough budget, not enough expertise to defend like a bank. There is no dedicated team. There is no chief information security officer. And often one overstretched person is doing the IT, is doing the operations as well as their day job. And a large firm absorbs a breach. For a small businesses, it can still be existential, which means loss of cash, loss of customer trust, sometimes the end company. That is why I think, from my own point of view, that small businesses are very, very vulnerable to cyber threats. And it's a very, very important question that needs to be addressed because a lot of small businesses think they are not rich enough or large enough to be targeted by attackers, but they don't know that those are the attackers' milking game. As to small businesses running like up to 0 to 20 people in their team, it's very easy for them because they lack any technical expertise of any sort. So that is why I think small businesses are most vulnerable to cyber threats and also cyber attackers. And they should know that they are at the forefront of all this attack because of all this lack of skills and also education of being cyber aware that they don't have.
Thank you very much. So I think the biggest one there is that small businesses don't have enough budgets. I want to leverage on your experience here. What type of small businesses are most exposed?
The type of small businesses that are most exposed are businesses that are not dealing with a lot of people's data. Most businesses that are exposed are mostly accountancy firms, logistics company, even restaurants or cyber insurance companies. Most of them are the type of businesses that you can get to see that before anything else, their tag, you could get a business email compromise of them paying of them willing to pay an invoice to a supply chain, or they should get an email of an attacker trying to claim to be their boss while he's away. So their information sits almost very easy to access by all these threat actors.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's move on to smishing, phishing, and BEC because I can see those are areas that you appear to. I'm sure you are getting ready to talk about these ones. The attack work because they exploit trust, urgency, pressure, and routine. They do not always need advanced hacking because for small businesses, they are already using systems that expose them. Sometimes they just need one person to click, like a fake email, and to reply or to pay an invoice, and they go away with a lot of money. So what I would like to ask is, I want you to help us define for a listener listening to us that doesn't have a knowledge of this, maybe a small business owner having a restaurant on the high street,
Yes.
I want you to define clearly what is phishing, what is smishing, and what is business email compromise.
Yes. So I'll touch on that, but phishing phishing is a sort of email where a threat actor gets to send you an email claiming to be somebody they are not, posing to be somebody they are not on your email, claiming that you should pay for something or you should click a link. So I advise attached to the definition of phishing is, first of all, look for bad spelling and dodging links. AI has already made phishing very cheap, fluent, and personalized, and also multi-channel. So that is phishing, where you could get a mail through your email. You get a mail that is very dodgy, that comes from a dodgy source or from a suspicious network traffic that lands in your mail, and they are claiming to be somebody they are not, that
Okay.
you should make a payment.
Let me help you with this so that because I want you to focus more on the follow-up question that I have. For listeners, I'm checking online. Phishing are deceptive email designed to trick people into clicking, paying, sharing credentials, or downloading malware. And smishing is still the same idea, but through SMS or messaging. And business email compromise, that is, attackers impersonate trusted people or compromise business email accounts to trick staff into sending money, data, or sensitive information. So now you are now going to be practical for us. What does a typical phishing attack against a small business looks like?
So a targeted phishing attack against a small business is me coming to work on a Monday morning and opening my system, and I got a mail from Emeka at yahoo.com. The name of my business is Idris Enterprises. Then when I opened my system to check on my invoices, my email, I saw Emeka at which these are one of my supply chains, people that supply me goods that I pay for before I get the goods and move on with my business. I get a mail coming from Emeka at yahoo.com dot wholesale foods. Then the wholesale foods has like zero. Then there is a zero between the foods and the O, making it like F0ODS. So I got a mail that is telling me that urgently, Idris, you need to quickly make this payment of £250,000 or £200,000 for the shipping coming from China, from Emeka Enterprises in China to Driscoll, to Idris business, which is my business in the UK. And I need to quickly make that payment. And there's an invoice that is attached to that payment. So me quickly not looking at the mail, not looking at the domain, the person that sent it, not quickly identifying the dodgy links or the bad spelling or the urgency created in that email that I should quickly act on it because of I'm the boss. It's a Monday morning. I'm pressured and I need to quickly move off the email and continue with my day. I already sent the invoice and sent one of my team member to go clear the money in the bank. And weeks later, I've been waiting for my goods to come, thinking that it was Emeka Enterprises that I've already cleared the bill with, the transaction with. And before I know, there is nothing coming. And we are just waiting. We are just sitting. We are waiting. And when you tend to raise alarm that, oh, what is happening? We went to this, we went to that. You went to the bank to trace it. And the bank started taking on investigation. They started looking into it. Then they could bring someone technical to now have a look at where it actually started from. If you don't have any sort of technical expertise, then you now get to see that it's from a malicious source, from an unknown source, that it was someone that perpetrated your account and they are claiming to be somebody they are not, which is your supply chain that you normally run a business with, or you yourself pick up a phone, call Emeka themselves, the real Emeka, not the fake one, that you like, I've gotten my goods for the past 4 weeks now, for the past 6 weeks. And they were like, no, you never made any payment. Then you were like, what about the £250,000? Moreover, this has happened to my aunt before, which is a phishing link a back scam link about also delivering goods from a supplier that she just went to clear the money in the bank. It was one of the things that also motivated me that this must stop and we must find a way to remediate this because small businesses are just facing all these attackers. So that is how a big scam happens. And before you know it, you've already sent the money to an unknown source because you didn't check the Emeka zero or Emeka foods, which the foods had zero and a hole just beside it, or because you didn't look for the bad spelling or the dodging links. So that is what an essential business email compromise looks like because you will already made the payment before you even realize. And months after or weeks after, that's when you now get to realize that, oh, my bad. And anybody can fall for this. So we just have to be more careful and stay at alert when reading our emails and not act on urgency when trying to reply emails or especially making payments.
Right. So many cyber attacks, from what you're saying, do not start with the code. They
Yes.
begin with trust. So do you have any advice for small businesses on dealing with trust?
So on dealing with trust, the thing is security, how will I say, security tools that read messages, they carry real responsibility that the answer isn't to avoid, AI is to build with privacy, transparency, something like that. But for SMEs, there's like a double duty. So protecting your trust means protecting your own data, customer data, because a breach is not just operational, is a compliance and reputational event. So trust is the actual product that you are selling, which means in security, if customers to how you handle their data, there is nothing else that you do that is going to matter. So promoting trust for small businesses is to carefully analyze who you are dealing with, especially online or probably even through the phone, just carefully analyzing who you're speaking with, the industry that you're in, and also taking care and proactive measures to be able to stay more cyber aware with your teams. And especially in an industry where your customer is handing you their most sensitive data or most sensitive communication and trust, and they are trusting you, to protect them without abusing their access. So if you get their privacy wrong, you've already become the risk that you were hired to remove.
So in the past, people were told to look out for spelling mistakes or strange wording.
Yes.
Now, AI makes that advice weaker because scam messages now look professional. They look personalized and believable.
Yes.
AI is making bad actors sound more credible. So the question I want to ask now is, how is AI changing phishing and smithing attack? I would like you to go deeper into that.
So how AI is changing smishing and phishing attacks is, as you said, I just want to buttress to from the look for bad spelling and dodgy links is like a traditional way of still telling people to stay clear from cyber attack and stay more cyber aware. So the way AI is changing it is that their quality have gone up and their cost have gone down. So generative AI writes perfectly native sounding messages in any language in seconds. I mean, in seconds. So the typo reading Nigerian prince era is over. Today's phishing raids, like it came from your own bank or your colleague. That's how it's going to look like. It is very, very hard to notice, hard to spot. So, and also voice cloning now is also another next frontier. So attackers, they've scraped LinkedIn and company sites to tailor messages now to your name, your boss name, a real project, and this is what makes modern phishing land very well. And also the impersonalization of the most effective attacks, they don't ask for money directly. They first impersonate someone you trust, like the supplier, like Emeka, the supplier, like I said, HMRC, your MD. The other day, I even got a smishing text for HMRC that I'm owing some tax, which is, HMRC won't text you like that. A manufacturer urgency. More nowadays, the way AI is changing everything and with the way attackers are using it is they are using psychology now. They are threading through the emotional part of people rather than technology just doing all the work. So they tend to trigger you through the emotional side of things. And AI generated phishing surged roughly, 14 times rather than the time 14 times higher than it was last year. And by late 2025, like close to half of all those reported phishing showed signs of AI generation, up from a tiny fraction at the start of the year. And because all these messages are well written, the classic spot the post, spot the link, spot the email, the domain work is now very well written, and essentially it doesn't work anymore, which is exactly why detection has to get more smarter. So we used to tell people to watch for bad grammar, but AI took that away overnight. The threats didn't just get bigger, it just got convinced.
So watching out for AI now produce better grammar,
Yes,
more personalized scam,
yes,
faster creation of phishing campaign. There is voice cloning,
yes,
the deepfake, and
yes.
of course, convincing impersonations. But one thing I want to ask is, we need to ask the question: can AI defend small businesses from these threats?
Yes, absolutely. Which is what we are doing at Driscoll currently. AI can definitely protect small businesses and encourage them to stay more cyber aware by which is one of the reasons why our detection has to get more smarter and much better. So AI is now essential on defense. It's the only thing that you can match the speed with with somebody that is using AI to attack you. Have to use an AI powered threat detection engine also to detect that sort of attack and scale that AI driven attacks because it's a powerful assistant. But as much as we are going to be using AI, it is not a replacement for human judgment because when you know how to stay more cyber aware with the help of AI at the same time, it puts you in that stage of, being more cyber aware and knowing exactly what to do in spotting that phishing attack.
Yeah,
I hope
so where is AI genuinely useful in cybersecurity?
that's a big question. AI is used in cybersecurity in a lot of places. But what I'll say about the usage of AI is AI has to be used with someone with knowledge and expertise sitting behind that AI to be able to use it effectively rather than someone with less or no adequate knowledge to be able to use AI because they could use it wrongly. And especially in the cybersecurity industry, currently it's not what AI can do. There's a lot of things too that AI can do. It's not infallible. It produces a lot of false positives and false negatives, and attackers actively try to fool it through adversarial attacks, prompt injection, and it doesn't understand your business context, which means that is human knowledge. So AI can replace basic hygiene and security awareness culture. AI catches what reaches the inbox. It can fix a shared password or an untrained employee. And crucially, the same AI that we are using is also available to the attackers. And it's an arm race, not a silver bullet.
Yeah, so can AI detect emails and messages before humans see them?
Yes. So with our AI threat detection tool Idris, so with a 95% threat engine of detecting AI, it sort of notices your messages before it sits into your inbox and asks you if you are very confident, if you are fairly confident to click that link because it's going to show you if it's safe or if it's not safe at all. So if it shows you that it's safe, it means that you can go ahead and open that email containing the link, granting you user access. You have to grant the access yourself. It's not automatically accessed by, your email platforms like Google or Outlook. You are the one that will grant our AI threat detection access to your email and is not reading any content of your email. It's just noticing for any sort of links attached to your email. And once it notices that link, it asks you if you're confident to click it. If you say you're not confident, then it trains you instantly and shows you a personalized report of where the link came from, where the email came from, and break it down more. But for small businesses that are using it on a day to day, that side of things of a personalized report of how the email came into your inbox and how to remediate that can still be used by your technical team. But in terms of training nudge, once it detects that email that is suspicious, it redirects you to the training nudge platform and shows you an exact real life scenario based on a real life scenario that has happened of a phishing mail, that this is what it looks like. This is what you need to look out for, and that way we'll be able to help you to stay more cyber aware in your organization and also in your daily lives. Even when you're at home, you'll be able to spot all these phishing emails that are coming through your phone, coming through your email, or someone giving you a call using a deep fake voice cloning system. You'll be able to spot them. So AI is the best defensive tool we've ever had, and it will never be enough on its own. The winning combination is machine speed plus human judgment, neither one alone.
Thank you. So what you're saying is that AI can act as a sheet, but
Yes,
cannot become the whole security strategy.
never. we humans that created it are still going to be at the forefront of controlling it to with expertise, with experience, a lot of experience of being in the field. You'll be able to control it to do the certain tasks that you've given it to do, not someone controlling it without the experience needed, because they could just go ahead and cause a lot of damage. Like someone working in a high regulated organization and is pasting data from their cloud and uploading it on ChatGPT is a very, very worst thing to do. But I'm sure that a DevOps engineer that is highly skilled with experience would definitely not do that, because ChatGPT and the rest of the PPQ, AI, cloud, they are just more of an open source with just some prompts. You'll be able to see what a lot of people are dumping there. So it's just using AI effectively. But yeah, with the help of AI, with the person of expertise, we'll be able to use AI effectively in our day-to-day lives and also in our organizations.
With that, I would say AI is valuable because businesses cannot manually inspect every message,
Never.
every link, every attachment, and every threat. Because now email is so accessible that if you are on annual leave for 1 or 2 days, by the time you come back, you have 100, 200 emails.
True.
So they need a technology that help them catch danger earlier. So with that, with the access to AI, can it help small businesses get a protection that was previously only available to large enterprise?
Yes. That's why we are bridging the gap with cybersecurity, and our mission is to democratize cybersecurity by offering small businesses the same level of insight and security offered to the larger enterprises for small businesses without complexity or high cost. That is why we are building Driscope, and that is why we have our Nodify and Training Nudge, a platform where you can go on and get your training, phishing awareness models, smishing, and also voice phishing, where it's going to encourage you to stay more cyber aware. And also our threat detection engine called the Driz Guard will be able to detect these mails that are falling into your email or Outlook or Gmail, and also your WhatsApp business covers the smishing side of it, and the phishing side of it covers your your email channels, which is Gmail, Outlook, and the likes, and detects any form of smishing, any form of malicious mail or text, and trains you instantly, encouraging you to stay more cyber aware, because you are trying to tell people to think before they click and not click before they think.
Wow, that's a powerful one. That's a powerful one-liner. Okay. You said AI is a powerful shield, but not a silver bullet.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
So AI is a powerful shield, not a silver bullet. Means, there are things that AI can do, but we are still coming back to, AI can do stuff, but it has to still be supervised with someone with a high level of expertise and also experience. So it can be your shield, it can do everything that you need, but it can't, just do it by itself. It has to be overlooked by someone else in the team.
So what can AI not solve?
So what can AI not do is it doesn't understand, like what I listed some points earlier, is that it can't replace your busy business hygiene and security awareness culture. It doesn't understand your business context, whether it's an unusual payment request, is generally unusual. That one is human knowledge. It's only human that can get to spot that, especially for small businesses. It is not infallible, which means it produces a lot of false positives and false negatives when training it, and attackers actively try to fool it with injection, adversarial attacks, and also AI catches what reaches the inbox, but it can't fix a shared password or an untrained employee. It can never do that. And so the same AI is also available to our attackers. So it's an arm race, not a silver bullet.
Okay. Let me make a confession here.
Yeah.
I now use AI I use AI a lot. I use ChatGPT as my Google. Before traveling, I can use ChatGPT to tell me why is this place a good place for holiday? What are the places to visit? I no longer Google. I just ask ChatGPT. And many businesses might be in this position, relying on AI for many things. And over reliance on AI creates new risk.
Yes, over reliance of AI, yes, can create a lot of risks. That is why our normal, day-to-day AI tools like ChatGPT, Cloud, mostly now you see a lot of people, they get to depend. I would say it's best to use AI, but it's not very good to depend on it for every other thing that you want to do, because it means that you're just reducing your brain redundancy, and you're just placing all your trust on an just an AI system to just chat with it. I also use AI a lot, but there are certain things I won't want to just ask AI but I would say, yeah, AI is going very rapidly, especially with the use of ChatGPT, the newer models like Cloud, like Fable 5, which the US government also has their defense sector has to halt it for a bit because they saw the type of damage that it could do when it gets to the hands of like threat actors, and also the good things that it could also do. Because there was a time I before I built like a presentation to document like a report. It could take me like 1 week, but with Claude, it took me just 1 minute. It took me just 1 minute to build out with the right prompt though. So I'll say AI is very useful. You can patch a human, but you can't support one. The business that stays safe are not the ones that are with perfect employees. They are the ones where it's safe to say, I think I just clicked something. And also, I would say most breaches they start with a person and not a piece of code, which means people are the biggest vulnerability. And done right, without doing right, people also they are the strongest layer of defense. So it's just about knowing what to ask AI, not dumping important information in your AI chat prompt or cloud prompt that is going to be very easy for attackers to just go on an open source. Because it's just like you're dumping something in an ocean. So anybody can just go to the ocean with their right tools. They'll be able to see whatever you dumped in that ocean. So it's just using it right. I mean, you can use AI for normal things. Even my car, just checking it and just checking what year is this, what model is this, how can I get the engine model, how can I get it's something that if it was 5 years ago, you would still be running around trying to get a mechanic or even fixing your boiler. You can just take a picture of it, take a picture of the issue, and it's all solved. So it's about using AI with the right skill and also using it the right way, and not depending on it too long and not depending on it a lot is something that I will encourage and also promote.
The challenge now is
Yeah.
that even though we have human in the loop,
Yes.
humans are no longer doing enough due diligence after AI because
Yes.
those humans, because they've been seeing AI doing it right,
Yes.
they no longer check as much. And I think that means that the 1% or 2% or 0.5% AI mistake can now go through. So what I would pick from what you've said so far is that the human element is still central.
Yes.
The tool may warn you, but someone still has to pause,
Yes.
think, and act wisely.
Yep.
Technology like AI will catch what it can, and inform people will catch the rest. You mentioned something about psychology, and that is going to bring us to the human behavior problem. So why is human behavior such a big part of cybersecurity?
So why it matters in cybersecurity is most breaches start with a person, not a piece of code. So which means people are the biggest vulnerability, and also done right, as I said, they are the strongest layer of defense. So the overwhelming majority of successful attacks exploit human behavior. A click, a reply, a rush decision, like Idris went to clear the invoice for Emeka, not some exotic technical exploit. Phishing being the number one attack type is a big proof that you can see that human beings are the forefront of even all these AI attackers. And they often blame we humans do is the enemy of security, blaming. If people fear being shamed for a mistake, oh, you click the link, quickly report it to the technical team in your company, whether it's a large enterprise, or you click the link working for a small business, is report it to the business owner, even you not knowing what that link would do. But if it doesn't feel right, you say it and not hide it. And hidden incidents are far more damaging than, not even than even speaking about it. So the goal is a culture where reporting is suspicious, whether you get a suspicious message, is celebrated, not punished. I don't know if it's going to sit right with a lot of people, but awareness is not just a once a year video. A lot of businesses, even small businesses, they could be using a managed service provider that runs a once in a year security awareness training modules for them, where the staff even get bored of watching. It's something that has to be continuous, it has to be realistic, it has to be relevant to how people actually work, make it short, frequent, and also more human. Attackers, as I said before, also, they target these, I would say, five things mostly, which is emotions, urgency, fear, authority, curiosity. Teaching more people the notice of feeling. Why do I suddenly feel like this person wants me to go and clear this invoice? Is much more effective than even teaching technical uh, know-how, yee-how, and all of that. So technology and behavior, they work hand in hand, which means good tool reduce how many threats is going to come to people. But at the same time, good habits catch the ones that slip through. With phishing eating 38% of businesses, being the most disruptive breach for 69% of those affected. And the front line is quite literally the people and their inboxes every time. So you can't patch a human, but you can support one. And the business that stays safe are not the ones with the perfect employees. They are the ones that are safe to say, I think I just clicked something. So you just coming out and, say the truth, not hiding it, is going to do more less damage than you not saying anything at all.
Okay. So cybersecurity cannot just be about telling people don't click links. People need practical habits, examples, and permission to slow down when things feels wrong. So following up from that, I want to combine these two questions together. Why do people click suspicious link? And also, what does good awareness really looks like?
The reason is that attackers mostly target their emotional side, creating of urgency. Imagine a business that they're always in a fast-paced environment, that they're always doing stuff in a fast pace. Receiving a phishing email that is creating urgency is going to be like the norm, triggered to the way their brain is already wired in their organization, because they're used to doing stuff fast-paced. So the reason why a lot of people click links is because they don't really know, and the people that know, it could be emotionally biased in terms of they are scared. If I receive a phishing email from my boss that I should quickly go make this payment, And if they are afraid of their boss, they will just go and quickly do that. Authority and also curiosity, that why I want to try and click this link to see where it's going to take me, is a lot of, mostly very common reason why a lot of people fall for the suspicious links. Sorry, and the second question.
What does good awareness training looks like?
Yeah, so a good awareness training has to be continuous, it has to be realistic, and it has to be relevant to how people actually work. So tailoring awareness training to the particular organization, to the way they actually run their stuff, and to the way they sort of deal with their customers, tailoring that specific awareness training to the actual company itself, it helps a lot rather than just summing up of videos online, perpetrated online from like the cybersecurity, National Cybersecurity Center, or breaches that have happened. So tailoring it to their particular organization themselves, and also using security awareness training that it's sort of dedicated to what they do is still one of the best way to go through awareness training, and not once a year. It has to be continuous, probably once a week or twice a month, so that as they are going through that training, it sticks in their head, and they'll be able to stay more cyber aware and know when the message feels like an urgency, or it feels like a sense of fear or authority.
Factors that can be responsible for human behavioral problems will be
Yes,
things like fear,
yes,
pressure, busy work environments,
yes,
and some other things around work.
yes.
And that takes me to this. A lot of staffs actually want to speak out, but they can't speak out because there is no psychological safety. They are afraid that if they say the truth, they might lose their job. And when they lose their job, they lose their livelihood. They cannot pay their mortgage. They can't pay their kids' school fees. How can we move from blaming employees to designing safer systems around them? Some people call it secure by design.
The answer is not to avoid it, is to build it with enough privacy, transparency, and good governance from day one, which means to protect people from phishing, you need to analyze their communications, and which also means that you need to handle sensitive data carefully, lawfully, that you have to earn their trust, not assuming it. And data minimization, which is transparency about what is analyzed and why, and strong security around the data itself under the UK GDPR, is not optional. It is the law. So working through your organization within that scope, and pushing that governance is about accountability, knowing who is responsible when AI makes a call, how decisions can be explained, how you avoid bias, and how a human can review the decisions and review and override decisions. The most common thing is, oh, the algorithm did it. It is not an acceptable answer. So for SMEs, there is double duty, which means they are protecting their own data and they're also protecting their customers' data. So a breach is not operational, it's a compliance and reputational event.
Thank you very much. So good security does not start with complexity. It starts with simple habits, clear processes, and affordable tools. But many small businesses think cybersecurity is expensive and complicated. Can you tell us what practical steps can they take without needing a huge budget?
Yeah, so practical steps that small businesses can take without them needing huge budget is enforcing multi-factor authentication, secure email filtering, regular staff awareness training uh, that are continuous, clear payment approval process, backing up their data, updating their softwares that they use for work, enforcing strong passwords or password managers, and having an incident response plan in place, supplier verification of their supply chains, and not relying on one person for payment approvals.
Sometimes when you tell people to do 10 or 20 things, they don't do any one of them. So, as a small business, if I'm listening to this, what should I do first?
What I will encourage you to do first is having multi-factor authentication across your platforms, whether it's your payment platforms or any platform that you're using to log in into your what you're doing in your day to day. Enforcing multi-factor authentication is the first thing I would say you should do, and also enforcing regular staff awareness training. Thirdly, not relying on one person for payment approvals are the first clear step I would say you should take. Where all from the payment approvals, you can still see clear payment approval processes and using strong passwords too. But multi-factor authentication, regular staff awareness training, and not relying on one person for payment approvals are the first clear steps I would say you can take.
Thank you. So, what should a small business do if they suspect that they've been attacked?
If a small business suspects that they've been attacked, I would say first of all is call a technical person to come have a look at the attack, at what happened, how did it happen, and I think you even knowing that an attack has happened is also from a way of you being more cyber aware. So once you get technical people that can come in and also help you remediate that attack and setting an incident response plan which is going to be in place, is going to help you remediate that sort of breach in a very quick and precise manner rather than not knowing what to do at all or going to the bank or something like that. So having cybersecurity professionals or IT teams or you signing up to like managed service providers or security service provider, being on a plan with them, they could easily help you come into your business and help you remediate that attack with you having an incident response plan in place that won't affect your day-to-day business operations.
So, what I will get from this is that cybersecurity does not have to be expensive to be effective.
Yes.
Now, I want to take this discussion back to you because I want us to be practical. You founded Driscope to address some of these challenges directly.
Yes.
I want you to tell us now about the problem you are trying to solve. So, what is Driscope and how does it help small and medium-sized businesses?
So answering to that is Driscope. The reason why Driscope exists is because enterprise grade protection, which means larger enterprises protection, was priced and built for them only. And the businesses that were mostly exposed to phishing were the ones that who could least afford to defend against it. And that is why Driscope and the customer that changed how I think was when I went into this business, because currently we are still a piloting phase. I went into this business and I asked them how much they're spending towards their security posture. Do they have any regular security awareness training? They said no. I asked if they've been ever gotten a phishing mail. They said severally over the span of last 3 years. And this is accounting, a small accounting firm, by the way. I asked them how ever got. They said yes, in the span of like 3 years, they've gotten like up to four breaches and they have £1,000 for them to change their full infrastructure with an attacker, with a professional attacker communicating with them and threatening them that is going to data as a service. So they were doing it. These threat actors, they are doing it as a service to the businesses that they've already targeted and also compromised already. So, yeah, that is one of the things that is also, fueling me to be pushing this because if we have a protection tool that is specified or specifically for SMEs to help them stay clear from phishing and smishing attack, and also offering it to small businesses without complexity or high cost is what I feel they actually need. Yeah, And also is the gap that we are filling because enterprise security, as I said, is expensive and it's complex. And the SME market is very underserved and told, and most of the time they'll say good luck. Where we at Idris Corp, we are creating an AI powered anti-smishing and phishing platform that is applicable for UK SMEs, and that's the mission
Yeah,
that we.
so how does Driscoll combine AI detection with human awareness?
So we have two products, which is Nodify and our training nudge. Nodify is our training nudge, and we have DrisGuard, which is our threat detection. So our training nudge platform comprises of phishing scenarios, smishing scenarios, simulations, where you can get to stay more cyber aware by taking on this quiz of personalized scenarios that we can, sort of create personalized to your business type and your business operations. So if you're like an accountancy firms, our smishing scenarios, phishing scenarios, cyber news, personalized track of your training and how you are getting on with your training is tailored specifically for an accountancy business. So if you're also a logistics business, is also tailored to you where simplicity is our feature because SMEs don't have security team or lack any sort of technical expertise. So if it is not very simple, they won't get used to it. And unused security protects nobody. So we sort of make our dashboard very simple that any person without technical expertise or technical knowledge can get to go on it and get to see the scenarios and vision calls, sort of asking them if they're confident to click in that email or ending that call from a vision where you can get to see where someone is calling you. Endless training that is AI powered with also real life templates and data sets that were imputed with a lot of time that was put into it. With our DrisGuard, which is our AI threat detection, it is connected with your user granted access to your email channels, which is Gmail and Outlook, and also WhatsApp business. So it sort of detects any form of email, suspicious email before it drops into your inbox and let you know that if it's safe or it is a malicious email. And if you are willing to click that link and you say you want to go ahead, it's going to just redirect you to the training notch platform, which is Nodify, and just send you like an instant training nudge, like a notification that this is a phishing mail and this is what a phishing email looks like. A very brief nudge, sort of a notification that just pops up and tell you that no, you don't need to click this, while still also showing you on your email tab that this is safe to click and this is not safe to click. So that way we are building in the open, the way the threats are evolving weekly, daily and monthly, yearly. We are building openly so that the products and we ourselves have to keep learning. And from our honest feedback that we are getting is what is helping us to tailor this training personalized and specific to the industry that needs our service.
That is useful because the wider issue is not just one product. It's your need to make cybersecurity protection accessible to businesses that do not have enterprise budgets, because smaller business need protection that fits their reality and not just tools that are designed for those big businesses. So one thing I would like to ask you is, what kind of businesses are you hoping to support?
So we are looking to support essentially businesses that do their daily operations, that deal with a lot of people's data or deal with a lot of high pressure environment, that deal in an high pressure environment. So our target market mostly are accountancy firms, food vendors, logistics, care homes, and also cyber insurance companies, because of a lot of small businesses that get cyber breach get to file a cyber breach claim with. So we using our SME grade security protection to training to awareness to them breaches a lot of gap to a lot of SMEs by encouraging them to stay more cyber aware, which in return, it's still as a form of compliance that they are staying updated with their cybersecurity awareness training, and also is detecting any sort of phishing and uh, smishing text and phishing email that is coming through their platforms.
If there is a business owner in that category that you've just described that is thinking about using DrisCorp,
Yes.
how will you tell them to start?
So I would tell them to start with our training notch platform, which is Notify AI, where they can get to go through our personalized phishing scenarios, smishing scenarios, and voice phishing scenarios, where they can be able to track their employees too that are staying on top of their training, where they can get to see cyber news, watch videos, and also be as a form is like a form of gamification for them. It's going to keep them energized while they're also staying on top of their training. So once Idris is staying on top of his training, he can get to see if Farouk is also staying on top of his own training. So if you see Farouk staying on top of if Farouk sees Idris staying on top of his own training, he will be motivated more to stay on top of his own training, enabling them to stay more cyber aware. So depending on the need of the business, I would say our training nudge is the one that a lot of people still want to go for at first because of our pricing is a very small price of £3 per head per user. Though after you've tested it and you feel like it's something you want to go for, but if you feel like you're also getting a lot of big scams, emails, and text, and you want to try out our DrisGuard, our AI threat detection platform is also there for you.
Okay, thank you very much. That's quite useful. So now we want to move to the next segment on trust, privacy, and responsible AI in cybersecurity. The answer to cyber risk cannot be careless adoption of another technology. Even defensive AI needs trust, privacy, accountability, and good governance. When we use AI for cybersecurity, what governance or trust issues should we think about?
So when we're using AI in cybersecurity, what we should think of more is the inherent tension to protect people from smishing and phishing, and also the need to analyze their communication and means of handling their sensitive data very carefully. So is privacy by design, not bolted on. Yeah, data minimization is what you need, and governance mostly is about accountability, knowing who is responsible for the AI when it makes a call, and how decisions are explained, and how you avoid bias, and how a human can review and override. That the algorithm did it is not an acceptable manner.
How do we protect privacy? Because for you to scan for threats, you need to have access to people's emails. Some people might see it as intrusive.
So, protecting people's privacy is what we do is we analyze the suspicious network traffic that the AI agent sort of analyzes with our trained model of 95% threat detection. So we don't read the contents of your email. The email just scans through your email that is your incoming email, and notices any form of suspicious network traffic that is coming through, and also analyzes the links that are included and let you know if it is safe to click or is coming from a trusted domain or not. So in privacy with that, we don't read the contents of your email, and because it's also user granted, we don't use any of your data or read any contents of your email. We just scan through it. Our AI powered protection is the one that scans through it and lets you know if it is okay to click any link or email or file that is attached to it, if it's coming from a malicious malicious. So, and it being simple is why SMEs don't actually need any security teams, because it is something that anybody without technical knowledge can be able to use. They can be able to operate it because it's simple. But if it's very complex, it doesn't get used, and unused security doesn't protest anyone.
So, how should small businesses think about data protection when using AI security tools?
So, how they should think about data protection when using data security tools is, first of all, training your people continuously and make it blame free. Make it short, regular, realistic, and also reward reporting. You can't manually. So it's better to let the tools to filter what reaches people and get to use any form of threat detection platform or a training platform that trains your staff or your employees very well and backing up your data and test to restore it. Ransomware loses its power when you can recover because if they say, "Oh, we have all the data, we have," you know that you can recover that through a backup and having a simple incidents plan, which is who do you call, what do you do first, deciding it before it happens and not during the panic. And look at cybersecurity, cyber essentials is a low cost certified baseline that covers the fundamentals and also reassures customers is ways that I would say that they can still get to stay more cyber aware.
Okay, cool. So, what I would like to follow up with is how can we make sure AI powered cybersecurity does not create new risk? Because one risk I'm seeing at the moment is that human oversight or human in the loop is appearing not to work because people already trust AI that once AI has done it, they don't look at it anymore. So how can we make sure that this does not create new risk?
So the thing is, most breaches that do happen now is they are sort of low cost, but they are sort of low cost individually, but they come with a very high frequency. And the danger for small businesses is the occasional catastrophic one and the cumulative drag of many, where they think that they can't get cyber breached or stuff like that. So them not relying too much on the use of AI, which means let's say, using an AI tool, once it's detecting whether this email is safe or not, you still going through that rigorous, continuous security awareness training, sort of trains you yourself, help you stay skilled up so that you know that the AI threat detection is not just detecting whether this email is safe or not safe. At the same time, you can still click the email and, get to see what is wrong there and, still get to know that, oh yeah, this is actually what the AI threat detection is doing, which means that because of my security awareness training and because I'm more cyber aware now, I can get to see I can get to know whether this is a malicious email and not even relying on the AI to just detect it only for you. You can be able to spot it yourself. So I would say as long as you are using your AI detection tool, at the same time, training yourself, on the other hand, to stay more cyber aware on how to spot this security, cyber breaches and stuff like that. You being able to spot it is phenomenal because you don't necessarily have to become a security expert overnight. Knowing that you can turn on your multi-factor authentication, back up your data, engaging your team, training them, and get tooling that does the heavy lifting, and do those this month. And before you know it, you are ahead of most businesses of your side. So it's reframing it, and it's also most small businesses think about the cost. So it's sort of reframing it as an investment, not a cost, and as a competitive advantage because we take your data seriously wins the business. And if you can get to be paying up to £300 a month for you to stay more cyber aware and for you to detect any sort of email compromise that is coming, or going for first 6 months and almost the ending of the year, you got cyber breached, you lose your customers, you get to pay up to £20,000 to remediate yourself from that attack. Now starting to gain customer trust again or rebuilding your brand or even it could just lead to the loss of the business. So is you seeing it as an investment and not a cost? Because security is a leadership issue. It's not just an IT one. Culture comes from the top.
Thank you. Finally, to round this segment off, what should responsible AI use looks like in cybersecurity?
So what responsible AI looks like in cybersecurity is being accountable, transparent for about any issues that are happening, not hiding it, privacy by design, explainability over in the black box, human in the loop. Yeah, and the dual use of honesty is because the same AI that defend can also attack. So you can acknowledge openly that the tech is neutral and that being a responsible leader, probably in your team, means that you're thinking about the misuse, not just only the capability that he has. So, and that, I think that reads a lot of leadership skill that, also reads maturity. So it's not just about the box that we tick, is the whole business in general.
Thank you very much. So what I'll get from that is that AI use for security still needs to be secure, trusted, and well governed. So we are moving to the next segment, and here we are focusing on small businesses. We need to know what they should do next. So I want to ask you, if a small business owner is listening and they are worried about phishing, smishing, or cyber fraud, what should they do within the next 30 days?
So if an AI are worried about smishing, phishing, what should they do in the next 30 days is them getting an AI powered threat detection without any sort of complexity or high cost for them, and staying more cyber aware, using multi-factor authentication, encouraging their team and them to stay more security aware by engaging in security awareness training, scenarios, staying on cyber news to see, oh, it was this company that got cyber breached. What was the cause? And just doing that in a clear, simple manner with their team makes their fixes affordable and very available to them at the same time. So AI changed the game, which is the answer is machine speed defense plus human judgment. So it doesn't run on one alone. At the end of the day, they have to still do what they have to do on their own side and use AI. Incorporating that together makes them a stronger team rather than just over reliance on AI to do everything for them.
I have a follow-up question for that business owner that is listening and still feels that their business cannot be targeted. What will you tell them?
Accept that your business can definitely be targeted using multi-factor authentication and having a simple incident response plan. Using secure tools to detect suspicious messages and back up the important data that you know that if you lose, it's going to cost you a lot or cost you more. Yeah, mostly like that, and especially training your staff on phishing and smishing and also voice phishing.
Personally, I feel that some of these things that you've mentioned, Discop can do them. If somebody is listening and want to try Discop, is there a trial or anything?
Yes, so we offer 7 days free trial for businesses where they can get to use our platform at first. It's called nudge.driscope.co.uk, where they can get to go through the scenarios, create an account, and use it for free for the next 7 days. And from there, we'll have a conversation on how they're getting on with it. But the best thing is to just reach out to us via our website called gscope.co.uk, and we can be able to take things on from there.
So, Idris, if listeners wants to remember one thing from this conversation, what should it be?
If they want to remember one thing, I'll say good security does not have to be complicated or expensive. Responsible, affordable adoption is within the reach for any business that are willing to take the first practical steps.
That's a strong place to end because this conversation reminds us that cybersecurity is no longer just an enterprise issue. Small
Yes.
businesses are part of the digital economy and they need protection that is practical, affordable, intelligent, and human centered. Idris, thank you for joining me on the Future States.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate.
Oh, you're welcome. Today, we have discussed why small businesses are being targeted, how phishing and smishing are becoming more sophisticated, how AI can support cybersecurity, and human awareness still matters. For everyone listening, you can learn more about Idris and Driscop at discrop.co.uk, and you can also find him on LinkedIn. I'm going to put the link to Driscop as a description to this post when I post on YouTube, and also his LinkedIn account. If you don't mind, I will encourage you to follow him. You can always send him messages. I'm sure he's open to answering your questions. As you know, Driscop has 7-day trial. I would encourage everyone to try it. There's no harm in trying, And again, in terms of costs, I think it's about how much do you call it?
So £3 per head per user.
£3 per user. That's less than the price of a cup of tea or coffee. If you have watched more than one episode of this podcast, I want to appeal to you or encourage you to subscribe. If you subscribe, it will help this podcast have a better reach and we can get better guests like Idris and others that we are inviting to this platform. And also, if this conversation added, please subscribe to the Future State on YouTube, follow the podcast on Spotify and your platform of choice. Share this episode with a small business owner, a founder, a charity leader, or a professional who think they need to know more and who need to take their security seriously. And I believe every one of us needs to take our security more seriously. Until next time, keep asking not only what technology can do, but what kind of future it is helping us create. Thank you. So thank you very much for your time and thank you for coming.